Well, hello everybody. Today I'm just going to go and prove that men can multitask too. Apologies for this rattle, I'm not quite sure what's causing it. I'm guessing it's some wiring inside my helmet. Now, while I'm riding along, just one minor point, people complaining about lots of potholes and damage etc. on the roads at the moment. This road looks absolutely appalling. This is the road from junction 11 off the A55 down into Llanberis. Now the reason why it looks bad at the moment is because there is massive work going on, and the reason there's massive amounts of work going on is purely because they're laying this special underground cable for the power station that's hidden inside electric mounting, and it's no point in doing a complete resurface of the road until they finished it. So yeah, that's why it's like this, just in case you don't know. It's not just lack of maintenance etc etc, it's saving our bills, and so yeah, it's a price worth paying for. Just bear in mind that we live in it, so if I'm happy to put up with it, don't moan. Right, so that's that bit out of the way. Right, so I've got the camera on because I'm just admiring the Van Pla in front of us. You know, walnuts, dashboard, leather seats, picnic tables in the back. It's a nice little example, that one. Doesn't look concourse, but I can assure you it's really well looked after. The guy that owns it's an engineer. I actually know him. I'm not with him, I just happen to have caught up with him. Cheapest fuel, is it 187 there for diesel? Blimey. Oh dear, glad I'm not on a gas guzzling diesel machine. Which brings me on to part of this multitasking thing. So today I am doing a video. I am preparing for 2 more videos, and at the same time I am going to be doing a little bit of the old Vespa Regional Riders Challenge. So I thought I'd go and pick up a couple of photos there, and then just to make it even better, because you know I'm multitasking, I'm hoping to go and get a bit of the old Bike and Brew passport stamped off. We'll see how it all pans up. That's the idea. Now, considering the age of that car, it's got quite a nice lick on, isn't it? Jolly good. Right, so we're coming up to my first stop any second now. This will be the Timauer tea room, and I'm just going to quickly grab a photo there and then run. The weather started to rain as soon as I came out, and now I've got moving, it stopped again. Who'd believe it? So my aim today is to pick up a couple of these photos, maybe 3, I don't know. We'll have a look, pick them up on the route anyway, and see what happens. And last year I took a photo from the other direction, so we'll try and be a bit creative and do something a bit different this time. Right, so that one's done. By the way, do you like my Vespa Wasp Sting? Yeah, it's good, isn't it? Oh, this is actually a radio aerial for the 11-metre band. It's made by Thunderpole. It's called a large orbiter because this is an aerial and it's large. It's not as big as they come. I mean, you can get massive ones, much taller than this for the 11-metre band. But the idea of this is to work for that particular setup. Oop. So we're just waiting now for the traffic to clear. We'll go for a little run. This multitasking, marvellous. I don't know why these women make so much of a fuss about it. I really don't. Okay, so
ladies, you know I'm just really being cheeky and appreciate that we can't multitask, don't you?
Today, I'm saying mostly I just want to have a bit of a, not a rant, it's just a conversation. Where the sea is not particularly great. Hopefully you can get to see some half decent scenery despite the weather. Okay, so bit of a interesting thing. Something came up quite a lot in my social media feeds recently, and I became aware of a term being used by people to describe themselves and their friends. And I wasn't entirely comfortable, so I've been asking around, asked a few questions, and it's been quite interesting. So, what am I on about? Right, so this term is the self-styled advanced rider. Now, the reason I'm mentioning it is because I happen to know quite a few people who have passed many different driving qualifications beyond the basic driving tests. And I was pretty certain I knew this, but I have checked with a few of them over the last couple of days. And unanimously, they don't refer to themselves as such. It was interesting, the reasoning why. One is just because they don't. Another was because they get snidey remarks from people if they do. And I thought to myself, well, that's interesting, you know. Now, the area I was coming from is purely this. If you regard yourself as an advanced rider, why? Now, regardless of all the exams you are taking, or have taken and passed, my viewpoint, and it is purely my viewpoint, is every day is a school day. You should constantly be trying to develop. And the concept that you believe you're an advanced rider, the term advanced, that's a nice Peugeot, isn't it? The term advanced does tend to give one a reassurance. It's quite an emotive term, suggesting that your abilities are, and indeed your riding habits are, advanced. They're better than normal, better than the average. However, every day is a school day. You can never stop learning. The day you become complacent and believe, in my mind this is, that you are an advanced rider, is the day you need to be thinking very carefully, because you are at risk of complacency. So anyway, I asked a few friends, and I have to say, none of the people I knew were, oh, blimey, they really have put some houses up here since I last came. This is a little village called Bethel. This was all fields not long ago. I got chased by a herd of cows going across there with one of my dogs once. I mean, properly chased. We properly ran. my dog at the time, that one, was absolutely, it was that field there. My dog at the time was absolutely mental. He would attack anything. He ran like there was no tomorrow. He was terrified. Anyway, back to what I was on about. Yeah. So my friends don't seem to have that attitude. No, yeah, they seem to have the attitude that, you know, you've got to practice the whole time and keep going, which I thought was extremely admirable, but nothing less than I would expect from any motorcyclist, you know. But it was the post that started it all off was a post about riding in groups, and one thing that stuck in my head was, oh no, I know it's all okay because I'm riding and we're all advanced motorcyclists. I think that was the term. And interestingly, some of the comments from my friends who are advanced, are members of certain groups, I'm not mentioning names, have come back to me and said, well, actually, we have to divide into different groups because different people have different riding styles, and one of them was complaining that the riders were constantly effectively breaking the speed limit. And when I say constantly effectively breaking the speed limit, I mean it. You know, we're not talking limit plus 10%. We're talking a lot faster than that. And having known advanced motorcyclists, it is a trait I have noticed. Now, it's a difficult one. I'm never going to criticise anyone else's riding per se, because everybody does things wrong. I mean, we all do. And I'm not here to judge, it's just a concern. Does the term advanced motorcyclists act as a false reassurance to someone? Now, I'll give you an example. In certain situations, one is encouraged to, and I use the term deliberately because it's a term used by at least one organisation, hunt for the overtake. Now, if you're hunting for the overtake, you are, by necessity, focusing on something perhaps a little more than is optimal. Now, the reason why that hunting for an overtake exists is this. If you read Roadcraft and Bikecraft, the two books on which basically most training is based, you have to remember it's carried out by or the methodology and the reasoning and the whole tuition thing is used by people who are riding for a specific purpose. Now, we are talking people like ambulance crews, you know, bike paramedics. We're talking police, motorcyclists, but bikers as well. They have to have that level of ability. And when you are riding, you are not going for a ride. You are carrying out something which is a fundamental purpose involving potentially life and death, okay? We're certainly talking about people who may be victims of crime, victims of assault. We're talking people who may be unwell. So not even using blues and twos, because they have a purpose. They are not there to go for a jolly. They are going to make progress at all time. But the imperative there is it's a purpose. There is not a ride. Now, with that in mind, if you then take that back, when you're passing an exam, for the ability to become an advanced motorcyclist, are you still riding for that purpose? And the answer to me is an unequivocal no. Now, I understand the whole theories of different road positions 1, 2, 3, and all the different things. I understand them all, and to a degree I practice them, but only to a small degree. And the reason for that is because in carrying them out, you are taking away some elements of a safety margin, which shouldn't matter in all circumstances. It really shouldn't matter. But you have to remember that they are taking an additional risk. They realise that they are taking that risk for a specific purpose. Okay? Now, it isn't about being advanced, it's about achieving a particular goal. Now, when you take in an exam to pass an exam, you're basing it on their techniques, but you're not carrying out their function. You're just going for a ride or going to work or what have you. And that's where, in my mind, it doesn't hold true. So I'll give you a classic example. This has happened to me. On the A5, coming out of Betws-y-Coed, going towards Pentravoilus, there's lots of bends. Now, when you go up there, it's very interesting. Turn your waste into opportunity. That's a good line, isn't it? That's a good marketing line. When you go up there, there's lots of bends. They're all blind. So you want to maximise your field of view. Oh, by the way, change subject. This is Saguntium, by the way. Saguntium is a great Roman fort type thing, or villa, or something. It's a Roman anyway. Saguntium is a big sign right now. You might have seen it. I don't know. And Roman, old things. A bit like me, really. Where was I? Yeah. A bit like, squirrel! Yeah, so, I don't know. When you're doing that, you go up that road, you move your position across. Now, the problem becomes, you can't see what's around that bend. So, if I was to follow what I was taught, I would be here, almost up to the white line, okay? Now, one day, I was trying to make progress to get up there. And I wasn't. I thought, something's not right here. I'm not. And I was about here on the road compared to the white line. So, in other words, not really moving out. And you know what happened? I'll tell you what happened. An R1 and a Fireblade came herring round the blind bend. One was the tyres were on the right side of the road. The other one, the tyres were probably on the white line. But they were both leaning. They were having to lean because they were giving it stick. So they were having to lean quite a lot. Had I been following advanced riding and not basic riding, I would have had to move and change my position. I didn't have to, because I just went for what I'm going to call basic competence riding, the test standard. Now that, to me, it wasn't dangerous going out there, but it was an unnecessary risk that I was carrying. Only degrees, but it meant I had to take an action that was avoidable. Now, in that case, what happens is you'll see that the general thing is that a lot of these people will say, oh yeah, but you could have predicted that, blah, 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 blah. And it's the standard get-out clause. Well, if you can predict everything that's going to happen when there's that scenario, the one thing you're not going to do is compromise safety unnecessarily. Or when I say safety, what I mean by that is not actual fundamental safety of getting killed or not, but that you need to the need to modify your behaviour because you have failed to have a crystal ball and we're trying to make progress. To me, calling that advanced riding is lying to yourself. I'm being quite bold here, so that's where it concerns me, because you're giving yourself that false sense of security. Anyway, that's me having a rant. I'm not complaining, and if anyone says I'm complaining, I will throttle you. I won't really. I'm not complaining about them. I think training should be taken, an exam should be taken to improve your riding knowledge and skills, and I have absolutely no qualms with that. But I'm going to quote one of my friends who is an advanced rider. I came round the bend, I was perfectly all right. Seconds later, he was in hospital for several weeks with lots of broken bones and having his innards taken out. He was riding in an advanced way. I'll basically paraphrase again, and a famous YouTuber who I'm not going to mention because I actually really like the person. But they crashed, obviously. They hadn't done anything wrong. They had merely misjudged the abilities of the machine they were riding. So in other words, what they'd done was they'd pushed the safety envelope further than was necessary, and then were relying on that extra envelope. But they are an advanced rider, supposedly riding in an advanced way. So all I'm saying is, every day's a school day. Please keep learning, but do consider that phrase. If you hear someone saying, I am an advanced rider, do consider thinking, do I need to be concerned about their complacency? Do they need to be concerned about their complacency? It's worth a consider. Anyway, on that miserable note, I'm going to say thank you very much. I hope you just found it thought-provoking, because it's the start of the riding season, and I just want people to not kill themselves. So, thanks very much for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and all that rubbish. And I'll see you soon for the next spouting of gutter garbage. Bye!